Hey, you're listening to iFanboy Pick of the Week, episode 1009. I'm Josh Flanagan, formerly, and this is my co-host Conor Kilpatrick.
How are you
Welcome.
doing, Josh?
I don't feel good. I don't know if this is the sickest I've ever been while doing the show, but I'm doing it. Oh, this
Well,
is gonna be fun. This is the closest I'm gonna get to drunk. This is a show where we talk about the week that was in comics. We have been doing this for 21 years. We each week one of us picks the book that they like the best. We call that the pick of the week. We talk about that book and the other books that we read. There's a patron pick. This is crazy. It's picked by the patron. There's listener mail. It should be fun. And
ooh,
I'm guessing this week mercifully short. Here's your spoiler warning. Exercise some caution. Connor, you had the pick. I'm gonna take a nap.
I did. Last week was a smaller week, but really, really good. This week was a little bit bigger, but not bad. But there was certainly less to choose from. When I finished reading my books, I only had two that I really thought about for pick of the week, and then GI Joe 17 was basically, I thought, all you want from a GI Joe comic. There are twists, there's turns, characters are revealed, characters' motivations change, there's backstabbing, there's action, there's a transformer reveal to a character who did, where it's very meaningful. Like I just thought this was, in terms of this new Energon era, like almost a perfect issue of GI Joe. Like it had everything you wanted from a GI Joe comic. Now we're not going to talk about it in the show, but this week, as the schedule of the line, also saw the release of GI Joe Real American Hero, which I don't think you should read in the same week because it really fucks up your brain.
Agree.
And it does put into stark relief how different the two books are, storytelling wise. But and I like that issue a lot. But I thought this issue was great. This is the final issue of the Dreadnought War, part 5 of 5, where the Dreadnoughts are trying to kill Cobra Commander. Duke is trying to save him because he's got information that Duke wants about the machines. Duke is still maniacally obsessed with the Transformers because they killed his buddy and way back in an early issue Transformers. And it all comes to a head in the desert. Destro shows up. The Dreadnoks form their unofficial relationship with Cobra in this issue. We have Cobra Commander's creepy snake eye popping through the hole in his mask the entire time. And then in order to survive the battle with the Dreadnoks, the Joes, or at least Clutch, reveals that he has a Transformer buddy, which causes havoc, not only in the battle, but basically causes Duke to have a PTSD breakdown. There's comedy. That one Dreadnought gets kicked into the desert by the Transformer. There's pathos. And then there's a big reveal, and we gave you the spoiler warning. But the big reveal is Hawk, who we've talked about before, has been kind of an asshole in the book.
Yeah.
The reason why is because it's not actually Hawk, it's Zartan, pretending to be Hawk this entire time on a deep cover mission in GI Joe, to infiltrate GI Joe. I thought this was great. I thought this was wonderful. The Tom Riley art's terrific. And this is kind of what you want from GI Joe. I don't know what else you want. This is it.
I like to say that Zartan under that suit is in incredible shape. I was like, what the hell? He got even bigger after he took his mask, hold all that mass in.
So
are
these tattoos on Zartan's face?
I mean, that seems like a really weird thing to do if your thing is disguise, but
Well,
I guess.
So in this world, Zartan doesn't magically change.
Right.
He has like a Mission Impossible
Stuff.
mask on his face. He's basically Ethan Hunt. He doesn't have the and then his face changes.
Yep. There's a lot of reference in here, I feel like. So Buzzer and then later Cobra Commander becomes Ash from the Evil Dead. There's just chainsaw on a hand. There is a Guy Gardner Batman punch that Duke hits. I think it's Ripper. It's straight out of that other book. There are far more Dreadnoks than I had any idea about.
There's hundreds of them.
Like we didn't get to know any of them. And I guess that's, but remember, because at first there was three. There's three in Zartan, and then they were like, that's his brother and sister. There's a couple more guys. Then we got up to like 10. I don't know. But here, there's just dozens of the bastards, and we don't get to know them.
But at the end, only the core 5.
Yeah,
which was the original 3: Buzzer, Ripper, and I was going to say barbecue, but he's fights fires. Who's the third one? Buzz the Ripper, and who's the third one?
Torch.
Torch. Plus Xandar and Zarana.
Road Pig, Zarana.
But Road Pig tries to join, and doesn't he fall off the helicopter?
I thought he grabbed on and went with them.
Let me see. So basically, the Cobra Commander wants to hire them as contractors, which is basically what the original thing is. But he only wants Torch, Buzzsaw, Ripper, and then Zarana and Xandar, who are the brothers of Zartan. They don't know about Zartan. And then Road Pig jumps on the foil, but doesn't he falls off though?
I'm trying to find it. This is not
on
good.
Page 17. He's on the thing.
Oh
no, that's Duke on the ground. No, you're right. He's still on it. He's still on it. So the Road Pig manages to weasel his way in there.
They spent way too much time on that dude to just leave him in the desert, unless there's going to be like a whole revenge run. Everybody in this is too strong. It's okay, but like these are muscular. These are Brad Pitt Fight Club.
This is like third season of Oz.
Yeah,
where they all got super ripped. Suddenly they all got super ripped. So
there's a thing at the end where they're talking to the like there's like a let's talk to Russ Wooten, the creator spotlight. Who's your favorite G.I. Joe? And he's like, I have to say the new guy, Road Pig. And I was like, Russ, it's nothing new here. Road Pig, that's a 40-year-old property, but okay.
I found myself really enjoying the battle, the reveal, the Transformers reveal is a big deal. They as they inch closer to, they're going to do their own thing, but they're going to have echoes of the past, which is the Dreadnoks and Cobra teaming up. And then honestly, when they cut to the pit and Hawk just starts ripping his face off, I was like, what the fuck? And then I went, oh my God, he's Zartan.
Yeah.
And that was quite an
thank God.
Quite a cliffhanger.
Look at Ripper on the cover of this book. He's too big. I like it. It's like cartoonish.
That looks like he should be Road Pig there, not Ripper.
Yeah.
Like they got the wrong head on that body.
I think if you're going to do it cartoonishly, it's totally fine. Do we remember?
Look, every Dreadnought on the bottom is like.
Yeah, they all just look like Aussie roadies down there.
That's right.
Like today. Do we know which Transformer killed? Like whoever Duke's friend was.
It was one of the jets. It had to be a Decepticon.
Okay, right.
The Autobots wouldn't have killed him.
This has to be behind the Transformers book in the timeline.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that came out this week also. There's a lot of Energon this week. We're not talking about it on the show, but that had some big deal things, including a lot of mask stuff. But
I don't know what I would have made my pick of the week. I don't know that I definitely didn't expect this to be it, but I kind of was like, all right, I can see it. Like it makes sense. For sure.
I enjoyed this whole Dreadnought War storyline. War is a bit of a misnomer, but I enjoyed this whole Dreadnought storyline. But then I thought this ended. You know what? I'm looking at the book, and he is this big throughout the entire issue. Yeah. Look on page 5.
Maybe Tom Riley read it wrong and thought it was ripped.
There's a lot of them. He's big. He's a big dude. I thought this was great. I mean, this is like you said. By the end of it, Cobra Commander got a chainsaw hand, like Ash. Like it's like so over the top.
Yeah.
But then you there's true moments of path. Like when Duke sees the Transformer, he basically freezes. Like that was a true, interesting moment. And then the ending was really shocking. And then he points guns at him. Talk, robot. Duke is crazy in this series. He's a nut job.
It works.
Which is fine, because in the other book, he exists solely to stand in front of a computer monitor and direct Joes to things, which is all he did in the original series anyway.
Yep.
The cartoon placed him too high. Like, he wasn't out in the field kicking Cobra butt. He was back at the base directing people holding a coffee mug. But he was blonde, and that's what we did back in the 80s. All these blondes were heroes, like Josh probably understands.
God damn it, yeah.
So, G.I. Joe 17, it was great. It was really fun. It was the one where I finished. I really wanted to read the next issue. The whole
I really wanted to read the next issue because it was Roadblock on top of his ice cream truck.
Jordi Belair on colors. I mean, this continues to be just a wonderfully looking book when Tom Riley's drawing it, which is most of the time, and it's great. So now the only other comic that I thought about for pick of the week was about Black Cat #6 from G. Willow Wilson, Andres Genolet, This was her teaming up with Matt Murdock, and it's not Daredevil because the cover's her and Daredevil together, but it was her and Matt Murdock because she needs a lawyer because some vampires are suing her. And it was just ridiculous and fun and funny, and I thought they were great together. This is what you want from a Black Cat book. You want her to be flirting with everybody. You want everybody to be ensorcelled by her sexuality. You want a snappy, fun, sexy time. And I thought this issue delivered exactly that. Plus, it was ridiculous and silly, and the whole vampire court thing was funny, and I liked it.
It is a thing that like they don't do silly books like they used to do silly books like this now, and now we get them relatively frequently. I think that's I think maybe we have a little bit of Matt Fraction to thank for that. But it's really fun when you can do that, especially with these sort of I get tired of it with maybe some of the bigger characters, but I guess with some of the lower tier characters, it's fun. This was it's hard not to compare it to She-Hulk in that way because it's Under Generally doing it. I know that my first thought when I looked at it was that cover's awesome, and I was I looked and I was like, oh, Adam Hughes, there you go, that makes sense. But that circular outgoing wave never gets old when we're dealing with when Daredevil. God, that's beautiful. Yeah, I had fun with it. She sleeps with a lady at the beginning.
There's no one is safe from Black Cat's charge.
No one is safe.
And this series, which is new, is having her talk to the audience like not Daredevil, like Deadpool, and that's a new thing. And even at one point, Matt Murdock's like, "Who are you talking to?" Which is very like sometimes fourth wall breaking only exists within the reality of the character doing the fourth wall breaking, and the other characters don't know what's happening. But having her do it and then him going, "What is going on?" made the whole thing very Deadpool-esque.
Yeah. This first thing I thought was, I was like, women rarely sleep in their bras. That's uncomfortable. They can't wait. They can't wait to take those off.
It immediately comes off.
Yeah. So two ladies, but whatever. And then I thought it was a hotel room because it looks like a hotel room, and she's got her stewardess clothing, which they made you see. By the way, and I'm saying stewardess in this instant, not flight attendant, because there's a little whole fantasy element going on there. But apparently it's her apartment where she has it set up just like a hotel room. So, or maybe it's not. Sense. Maybe it's her. It's fine.
No, you're right. It totally looks like a hotel room. There's nothing personal in that room at all whatsoever.
No. Anyway, then what was fun was that like he kept doing all of his Matt Murdock stuff. She's like, "How do you know that?" He's like, "The heat coming under the door," and it was just so transparent that it was very silly. Also, like they had the fight, and I think she had like a half an hour to go. And they skip over to Grand Central Station, not longer. And the first shot is on the page is Black Cat and Daredevil falling down, to the ground floor. And then the next shot is Black Cat and Matt Murdock, not all sweaty and disgusting, walking under the train tunnels. And I was like, good. Just do that. Like, keep this moving. I don't need you to explain it to me. Like, this is one of those things where my brain picks up on it. My brain says, that's ridiculous. You couldn't do it. But then I think that's a good choice. You just keep things moving. You don't need to do all that crap.
Yeah. It was just fun. And Andre Genele, who did such a great job on She-Hulk, is perfect for these kind of stories. And, great with action, but really great at character stuff. And, sexy people, sexy ladies, sexy guys, monsters. And the vampires were appropriately silly.
Yes.
What you wanted from this kind of story. I mean, they had a lot of people show for that trial. Or for the
You know what I really liked? I liked that they fined her a very specific amount of money that was neither not ridiculous but not inconsistent. It was like $680,000. And I was like, huh, it sounds about right.
And also, she could pay it.
That's what I was wondering too.
She's got that kind of cash. She's fine. She can steal a couple of diamonds, and it's all right.
$657,000. Payable in cash or trade. See, that's how you get some storylines going there.
So this was really fun. When I finished this issue, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed G.I. Joe, and the other books this week that were good, but these are the two that really stood out for me. And we're going to talk about some more of them after this quick break. Okay, we had a big issue this week. DC KO number 3. Scott Snyder and Javi Fernandez are doing the main story. Josh Williamson and Zamanico are doing the sort of board game flashback story that's in there that we don't understand yet. I saw a lot of people talking about it when I hadn't read it yet, and they're talking about the last page reveal, and I was Very curious to see what was going to happen. I thought maybe someone was going to die. And before we get to that, it was interesting because I haven't been keeping close track of the tournament. So in this issue, we got to the second round. It was like, wait, oh, okay, we're done with those one-on-one fights, I guess. And then it bled into another comic this week where Aquaman and Hawkman are together, and they had just fought each other, and I was very confused. But I thought the pairings were weird because you could choose anyone. So who's left? Is Superman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, Zatanna, Guy Gardner, Lex Luthor, or Joker. They're the ones who are left in the tournament. And they could choose anyone to be their partner for the next round. And Guy chooses Hal. That's just duplicating what you've already got. Why not?
You don't want that.
Mix it up. Zatanna chooses John Constantine. Again, you're already a sorcerer. Get someone else who can do something else. Cyborg chooses Connor Hawk, and he makes his case for it, but Connor Hawk has no powers. I mean, you need someone who can fight. And even Wonder Woman, the idea was basically the same thing too.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was weird. Superman Shazam made sense because one is magic and one isn't. That like at the first be like, wait, also, is he Shazam or is he the captain? Up to this point, he's been the captain for a couple of years, and now he's back to being Shazam.
They call him Shazam, or is that just his secret word?
It says Superman and Shazam on the page where it shows all the people together.
Huh. All right.
So they all fight. Yada yada yada. I enjoyed the fights. The stupid Joker who laughs, or Batman. Joker who laughs.
Batman who laughs.
Batman who laughs. He shows up as Joker's partner. I rolled my eyes, but he's a Scott Snyder character. I thought the Joker choosing Mr. Mixie's Pidlick was a genius storytelling move. That was really smart and fun. So here's the big twist, the big reveal, the big thing that caused all the excitement on our Discord channel is that Superman survives the Superman, Wonder Woman, Joker, and Lex Luthor survive the round, and they end up where they think it's Apocalypse, but it's not. It's Earth, but it's not Earth they recognize. And then the last page reveal is that Booster Gold, who we know is actually Darkseid, is there with Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman from the from the absolute world. Although they are all evil looking and sort of Jokerized a little bit. They have red eyes and
why are they? Yeah,
they're not clearly not the regular ones we're reading. They're some other kind of version, but it's them.
Well, that world they're in, which is supposed to be the bad world, is pretty unrecognizable from the other one in the books that I've read so far. So maybe this is further along, like that happens later. But I thought that was always supposed to be the point, is that like their world was tougher or darker or whatever.
Right.
But it doesn't look like this. It doesn't look like Apocalypse.
In the next issue cover, they've all got glowing red eyes, and so it's clearly some sort of evil version of.
All right.
But that was unexpected. Even though we know that they've been this whole thing's built towards
the
absolute universe being, colliding with the DCU, but didn't see it coming. What did you think of this issue?
I thought it was fine.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it enough. It wasn't like a wow factor. It was kind of more interesting to watch them do the math through the course of it than it was anything else. I think what you're saying makes sense. I think it would have made sense to, and this is Monday morning quarterback crap, but like it would have made sense like to have Guy Gardner choose Hal Jordan because he's stupid and he's like he really admires that guy,
right?
But like somebody else would have had, and in a way,
well, he kind of did, right? He said it because he was the best,
right? Well, there you go. But and again, actually, the one that made the most sense is Connor Hawk in that he said, "Well, I get to learn everything and I'm going to power you up like me, so then we'll be unstoppable." And like,
yeah, that makes sense.
I don't really, I don't. Yeah.
Lex choosing Supergirl also was a smart pairing. But then she was like,
"Oh," and then he read Kaiser. That was the other thing,
right? But then she's like, "I'm not fighting for you," which I don't think you're allowed to do that.
No,
anyway, I thought it was fine, and I think this event is fine. Like it's enjoyable. I'm enjoying it. It's not bad at all. I'm enjoying it.
I'm not mad at it.
No, it's fine. So I have thoughts, but I'm gonna let you run for a minute on the Avengers 800 or 34, depending on your religion.
This is the only reason I'm here.
Josh was like, before we did the show yesterday, he was like, "Don't let me forget to put Avengers on the rundown because I have so many thoughts." And I was like, "Uh oh." So I have thoughts.
It's not. No. So okay, I'll just the main storyline.
There's two
Fine,
stories in
actually,
this. There's a
two
Jed
stories.
McKay, Fareed Karami that I guess wraps up their Kang storyline. And there's a
Yeah,
Bendis and Bagley backup story.
right.
So it's two stories.
So I thought that the main storyline, the Jed McKay one, I actually thought as I went through it, I was like, this feels very, very big Avengers in a way. Like as they wrapped it up, it reminded me of like 70s and 80s Avengers, where it was just sort of over the top and very, twists and turns and how they sort of won against Kang in the end. I thought it was all really good. And I said, oh, this is a good ending to something that I think was maybe a little hit or miss as I went through it, but I thought it was a strong ending. Whatever. So the end is they're saying, hey, this is the 800th issue of Avengers. We want our cake and eat it too. It's number 34, whatever. They have Brian Michael Bendis, the usurper, and Mark Bagley show up. And
Bendis has not been, he's written a Marvel comic in like 8 years.
yeah.
It's been a long time.
So you got Cap hanging out. Now Cap looks like old-fashioned Cap. He's got his chainmail kind of thing going on. He's got an icky feeling about something that's going on with these is it Hydra? Yeah, Hydra folks. And then out of nowhere, Iron Man comes down. And this is drawn by Bagley, so it all looks kind of classic, right? That's pretty good. She shows up. Then Thor shows up. And they're all happy to see each other. Thor is in his classic outfit, looking like Thor, like we grew up with.
I know where you're going, and
Yes, you do.
I'm happy you're going there.
And then the Hulk shows up. He's got his bowl cut and his purple pants. That's great. Then off screen, someone. And then I'm sorry, Ant-Man and Wasp show up. They look like this is shocking. Ant-Man and Wasp. Then on the last page, an arrow hits someone, and Wasp says, "I know that arrow." And then you turn the page, and every single person is in their classic costume except for Hawkeye, who's in his dumbass, stupid
movie costume
with his glasses. And I was like, what is that about? So then I'm going back and forth. Everybody in this gets to look classic except for the one character.
It's really bizarre.
It's absurd. What kind of mind game is this?
And then on the final page when everyone shows up, it's like, I mean, everyone
all of them. Carol looks like Captain. She doesn't have her little jacket on.
It's even the old Moon Knight costume that Moon Knight's wearing.
God. Did the Beast has his little panties on? Everybody except for Hawkeye.
It's very weird.
Shield uniforms. The one Shield uniform has his 70s Afro guy. Everybody gets to be from the earlier era except for Hawkeye.
Falcon.
Wonder Man.
Ooh, look. Namor's wearing his panties and his asshole haircut. Like it is everyone.
Quasar.
Firestar's in her classic costume. Iron Fist.
That is fucking triathlon right there in his original Kurt Busiek triathlon suit. What is this? Is he fucking with me? What is this?
It makes you wonder. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? I mean, it's very strange. It's not as if his costume was offensive, like it's just a purple archer's costume, and why they won't use it is very weird. It's very weird.
You got this is on the back page. It's a big splash of all of the superheroes, and you got Doctor Strange back there in his Mo haircut for some reason.
Oh, here's a question: what costume is he wearing on the big gatefold cover with all the Avengers? Let's see. Do we see him? Everyone's wearing, even Ultron's in there. Hawkeye should be pretty prominently placed. There's Kate Bishop right in the middle. Where is Clint?
This is a systematic conspiracy.
He's wearing his movie costume with his glasses on his forehead, resting on his head.
What on earth?
He's right behind Tigra.
The only one.
We need Bendis back on the show to find out what's going on. Here's my 2 cents on this.
Bagley drew Hawkeye he drew him. He did the Avengers.
Here's my 2 cents on this issue. And they're both pretty petty. One is, so you've got this giant cover that Russell Dowderman drew with like all the Avengers ever on it. It's like it's like 5 or 6 covers if you fold it out.
Right.
Why they chose this one for the main cover is weird. the only original Avenger is Wasp. You've got Scarlet Witch in a main spot. You've got Vision, Hercules, Wolverine, Quicksilver, Miles Morales right in the center. You don't have Cap. You don't have Iron Man. You don't have any of the people that you associate with the Avengers. There's the only like Vision and Wasp. Okay, fine. I mean, look,
She-Hulk's right off to the side.
but like that's the one you choose. The one at the very end has Cap and Captain Marvel and Wonder Man, and there's at least go in the center with Iron Man and She-Hulk and Doctor Strange. Like, it's just bizarre that that's the one they chose.
Yeah,
that's number one. Number two, I hate to make it a DC versus Marvel thing, but I think DC does the anniversary issues way better than Marvel does. I think DC understands you gotta take a break and tell like a bunch of stories that sort of celebrate the history of the character. I mean, Marvel has had good ones. There's been some good Amazing Spider-Man. 600 was really good, but this issue, it wrapped up the Kang story, but it just went through Jed McKay's run. They had the whole point of the story was they had to explain to Kang why they were still why they were heroic or something. I forgot the exact thing they had to do, and they just went through each beat of the storylines that Jed McKay's done. Remember we did this?
We
did this? I thought,
are
we going to go all the way back to the beginning? No, we just stopped. They stop at like, it's like, this was not an anniversary issue for the Avengers. This was an anniversary issue for Jed McKay's run. It was very bizarre. And then the Band of Spadic story, I enjoyed it, but I don't really think of Bagley when I think of the Avengers, even though he and Bendis did do an Avengers book together, Avengers Assemble. But I don't really think of Bagley as like an Avengers artist.
Did he not do it in the 90s or something?
I don't think he did, but I could certainly be wrong. I just don't think of him as I just don't think of him. I enjoyed the story, other than the glaring Hawkeye bullshit. But I like the story of like, they had to use the old school Avengers card to call each other because of technology reasons. So all the Avengers start showing up because they all get the alert, and then everyone's making fun of Tony because he's got a crush on Lady Hydra because he likes the bad girl. Like, it was a funny build.
No, and like the idea being in the end, like, you know what, Tony, you made me different, and Steve, you made me different, and that's great. Avengers,
and it felt nice. It felt like a warm blanket to have Bendis back writing the Avengers. It just was very strange. That Hawkeye was strange, and the main story was just bizarre. Like, why are we doing this? And then I just don't care about those characters. The round table, like I've never really cared about him this entire run, and so the storyline itself is kind of dull. But
well, they don't have characters; they're just overwrought Shakespearean-ish
versions of the Avengers from the future.
Like, we have to be heroes, but they don't have any personalities, as far as I can tell.
That's true. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back with more comics right after this. Did you read Dungeons of Doom #1?
I did.
Benjamin Percy and Philip Kennedy Johnson with a whole bunch of artists. I thought this was a really sort of smart and fun concept, which was basically Doom has died. He died at the end of that story. What was it called? What was that called? What was it called? The Doom event.
No, I know. Emperor Doom? Emperor Doom?
No, that was the one in the 80s. Whatever.
Oh.
We're both dying.
Mr. Strange.
Faster than others.
Mr. Supreme.
Yeah, Mr. Strange. That was what it was.
This is Steve Strange.
Anyway, he died. And so now this is the land grab for Latveria. So you have the dissident group inside Latveria that had been fighting him. They're shooting it out with the U.S. troops. And then Hydra shows up. It's like basically like 3 or 4 groups, all making a play for Dr. Doom's treasures, all the artifacts and things he's got in his dungeons. And I thought that was a really smart idea, which was like, look, Latveria is now open. Oh, even the Wakandans show up. I thought that was really smart. I thought it was good. I like the issue.
I don't get the Wakandans. I don't get what they're supposed to be at all.
They made him kind of bad now.
Yeah, and I don't get that. That's not.
They used to be sort of the pinnacle of good in the Marvel universe. Now they're like, we're going to be state-sponsored terrorism and things like that. It was interesting.
Yeah, it's weird. I think that this was really clever. I didn't particularly like it that much, just in that, like, the stories that are going to come out of it, which is like finding a monster and then like dealing with that and trying to get it. I don't really care about, because I think there's enough interesting stuff in the main It's a good diversion. It's a good thing that goes off to the side, but the stuff that's going on in the main story, is like what actually happens to Doom. I like how in the larger overall view of it, everybody's just like, well, yeah, but when Doom comes back, like they've all agreed to that. Like
Right.
that's a thing. And this whole time I kept thinking, I was like, but isn't all of this Valeria's? Like I don't like what's the
True.
thing here? She owns all this, so
But she's not defending it. So,
it's true.
like if you're made president of a bank, but all the security guards die,
Mm-hmm.
if you're not there with a
Yeah.
gun, then you're not, open season on Josh's bank, everybody.
Do you know what the guy hanging from the chain, who's like kind of half corpse and has clockwork in him?
No,
What's that about?
that's a new.
That's interesting.
All I know is though what they said, which is that it was a mutant, what should never been born, and so
That was kind of interesting. You don't want a clocky chain room.
I like the tripwire, which was Professor Xavier saying, "Hey,
Yeah.
get out of here. This is bad. This is bad."
Did he have him record that? Hey,
I guess he did.
Chuck, if you could just do a thing for me. It's a thing I got. It's like, sure. Yes.
I thought this was interesting. I think this post Doom, I thought over the break the last Will and Testament of Doom, whatever that book was called, was really good.
Will of Doom.
Will of Doom. This is a fun exploration of the vacuum that Doom leaves behind. Of course, Doom is coming back. He just got zapped some other place. Like he'll be back in time for the movie, which is in December, and we'll see. We'll see what Marvel Studios does to the very last important villain, and they haven't touched yet. Logan, Black, White, and Blood, the latest anthology book. They love these color books. We've got one from DC this week too that we're not talking about, but this came out as well.
How is that okay? They both do them.
There are no new ideas. This had featured 3 stories: one from Tom Walls and Alex Linz, one from Saladin Ahmed and Adam Kubert, and one from Larry Hama and Dave Wachter. Corey Pettit lettered the whole thing. I thought this was really good. I liked all 3 stories. Yeah, I liked Larry Hama's really the best, but I liked all of them.
Larry Hama's, which contained more stereotypical Canadian jokes than anything I've ever seen.
Strange Brew.
Like, why is it okay that he does this? These 2 crazy Quebecois hunkers who just get slaughtered.
Who talk like they're G.I. Joe soldiers by really calling out their ammo.
Yeah.
I shot him with a 7.05, like the way that.
But you got to remember, they are talking in this accent. Right. That's the thing that makes it extra silly. They're talking about a loony. Vous faites non.
The first story is Logan in the Korean War, which I thought was really good. I've been thinking more about the Korean War lately.
Go on.
Just because it's a war we don't think or talk about very much, but it was we talk about China all the time, but we actually were in a shooting war with China in the 50s.
Yes.
The second story, Saladin Ahmed, who I don't normally am a huge fan of, but I thought this was good. Logan versus serial killer in 70s Times Square.
Yeah, 70s Times Square was fun.
Having to go into the Peep Show, pretend to be there for not the Peep Show, but the Peep World, trying to going there for the adult movie, but really laying a trap for the serial killer. I thought that was fun. And then sort of feral Logan, sometime after he's escaped Weapon X, so very early on his conversion to the Wolverine type, and he runs into 2 Quebecois hunters, and I thought that was good. As Dave Wachter's art was gorgeous.
I feel like Dave Wachter's been around forever, and maybe he's starting to finally get noticed now because he's great, but also he's got his own style. Like he doesn't look like anybody else. Like obviously, this hints at what's his ultimate Barry Windsor Smith kind of thing, but it's it's his, but also his art feels very analog to me. I mean, he might be doing, but it just feels like pencils. And
also, the first 5 pages were silent. At first, I thought it was going to be all silent, and then there's all the words happen when we meet the Canadian hunters. But Wolverine sucks a bullet out of a wolf. Like I thought this was a great, down and dirty story. I'm gonna find that piece of dialogue that I loved. Where was it? It was there's the part about the loonies. He calls out the ballistics. He's like, like very much. It was a very G.I. Joe. I put that jacket in 3006 through his chest. Like that's the G.I. Joe piece of dialogue.
It's good stuff.
I'm surprised he didn't say a Mike.
The last line is "Our Father in the sky," so he's saying his prayers because he's about to eat it.
Well, yeah, Wolverine's pretty pissed. Let's take a quick break now. Josh can take a moment of and catch his breath, and we might be flying through this show because we want Josh to make it through alive. Let's take a quick break, talk about how you can help support the show. We are listener supported. You may notice we were not nominated for Golden Globe because we are not celebrities and we were not on a podcast network. We are independent. We are self-sustained, self-sufficient. We cannot afford the fees it costs to get nominated for a Golden Globe. And all of our bills are paid. The show keeps going because of you, the patrons, at patreon.com/iFanboy. They support us directly. They're a great community there at Discord and Facebook. They vote on the Patron Pick every week. They get Patron Powers live on the show. They join the monthly Patron Hangout, which is happening next weekend. And we have a great time with them. At $10 or higher, you get a lot of stuff. You get an ad-free version of all of our shows. This Pick of the Week show comes out a day early on Saturdays. You get access to the iFanboy after show on Sundays where we talk about all the books that did make the rundown. And it's a great time. It's a lot of good value. Plus, you still get all that merch we talked about last year. We don't really talk about anymore. It's still there, and you still get it. We get a shipping notice every time it goes out. I just got one this morning. You still get the T-shirts. You still get the mugs. You still get all that stuff. Plus, you get a discount. You sign up for a year ahead of time, one full year at a time. You get a discounted rate, and you can send and receive gift memberships. Go to patreon.com/iFanboy today. Thank you very much. iFanboy.threadless.com is our merch store. We got 23 designs on T-shirts and more. You can buy mugs, you can buy bath mats, you can buy notebooks, you can buy all kinds of stuff there. We have to start thinking about some new designs this year, but we will get to them when they come to us. It's like a magical thing. We know it when we see it. We know it when we hear it. And page iFanboy.com/support is our digital PayPal for tip. If you want to throw a couple bucks our way because you like the show, you don't want to be a patron, you want to buy a shirt, that's totally fine. People do that all the time. We appreciate that. Again, now that we're in January, as people are preparing their taxes, if you decide, I got a hole, this cash is burning a hole in my pocket. I don't want to go into the government. I don't want to go into nefarious deeds. I want to go into these two lunatics who've been doing this for 21 years. Consider going to fanboy.com/support today. Fanboy.com/Amazon. All your shopping needs are there. There's links there. You can use that for your shopping. I appreciate that. Finallybookshop.org is our partner. Our partner in books. Local bookstores will fulfill your order when you order through bookshop.org. You can find the links on our site where appropriate, which usually means the Booksplode show. So we do appreciate that. Josh, second wind. Let's talk about Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, Rite of Spring, number 5.
This book had a second wind, but I don't. This is clearly going to be the penultimate issue.
Yeah.
The killer is sort of revealed to everybody, and so the town now knows that everything's going on. And I liked it because it wasn't like she was trying to hide it. Like she was playing it like she wanted the thrill of being known and being scared, and then having her last standoff where she tried to kill as many people as possible. And it's interesting because this cute bear character, who is a vicious killer, the person that we've gotten to know the entire time through their actions and inner monologue is pretty goddamn consistent. It isn't like, this wasn't what you acted like. It all kind of works and makes sense, and it's been very deliberate, and it's been very just smoothly done, I think. And it isn't that I really like this story as much as I just like how well it's done. I just think the cartooning and storytelling and dialogue are just all excellent, and nothing like any other books that I read right now, but with also at the same time not feeling like weird or, for the sake of being different. It's just really, really well done in absolutely messed up, scary town murder story.
It's interesting because I read the first arc in the volume. Like, you got me that trade, and I read that all together. So for a story like this, which is a serial killer story, it's not a mystery so much as it is like a thriller. That worked really, really well, keeping all the characters in my head and why some characters are important. Some, so reading this issue by issue has been a slightly less satisfying because I keep forgetting who the duck is and who that just. However, this issue, when it all came to a head, I literally, the last couple of pages, I was like, oh.
It was exciting.
It was like the end of Taxi Driver. It was when the cops come to arrest her, and I was like, what the fuck is going to happen now? And then she pulled a gun out and shot the sheriff in the forehead. I just went, oh.
It happened it picked up really fast too. It was because the rest of it's been so slow. Basically, there haven't been a lot of action scenes. There's been, all the bad stuff happens in the dark.
Or off panel. Let me ask you a question. Yeah. What were your thoughts on the James Bond-esque button that revealed machine guns in the ceiling. That was the only time I was like, but I went with it. But it was the only time because this has been a fairly, even though it's all animals, it's been a fairly realistic comic.
Well,
so then she presses the button, and then all these machine guns pop out of these boards, and they shoot all the cops. I was like, well, okay.
I mean, I think you can take it to the point where like she's living in a fantasy more and more, and so she's done all these things that when you look at how extreme her actions have been, it doesn't actually come out that weird. Like she runs a hardware store, she can do stuff, but she really loves is killing people, and she understands like this is coming, this is gonna happen. So I just thought, oh, you're just amping it up here at this point, but I don't think it's entirely, I mean, unrealistic is a very relative term here.
Oh, totally.
But I didn't really knock on it.
It was a bit much.
Oh, she really likes to kill
for me, but she also is like she owns a hardware store. She's very good at building things. So I thought, okay, if you've been like a school teacher, it might have been a different story, but
yeah,
it is what it is. So those are the books we're going to talk about. But patreon.com/iFanboy, every patron gets voted out a book to the rundown this week. The winner by one vote, it came down to the wire, it came to the last few minutes of voting, was Batman and Robin 29. Story by Philip Kennedy Johnson, who has 2 L's in his name, not 1. That's a typo. Art by Fico Ossio, colors by Marcelo Maiolo, and letters by Steve Wand. Batman and Robin has threatened to be patron pick several times over the last couple of years. This time, Jeff Reed pushed it through, so this is his fault.
Yeah.
This is the final issue of an arc. The return, not the return of Scarface. It's called something else, but I kind of liked that part of it, that they brought us in on the final issue. The Quiet Man was what it was called. Mm-hmm. And, as a comic should, I didn't really have a tough time following what was happening. I got the gist of it. Philip Kennedy Johnson did a good job of giving me the stakes, the characters. I may not have gotten every nuance, but this felt like in the 80s when I picked up a comic and started reading it, and it was the middle of an arc, and I got it. So I wasn't lost. Like sometimes in the past, they've picked an issue. They've picked comics for us that have been the end of arcs or in the middle of arcs, and they've been more indie side comics, and they're not written the same way. This is written like a monthly superhero comic should be written.
It really was.
That being said, I thought this was a really terrible Batman. This felt like the old robot Batman with no emotion. Like we just talked about last week, how we were so happy that Batman had emotion and lightness to him again. This felt like a Batman from 10 years ago. I didn't like Batman at all in this. I obviously hate Damian, so that was a problem. But I like Scarface a lot. He's one of my favorite Batman villains because he's so strange and so weird and so over the top in a good way, and scary in a good. Like it's really disturbing when you think about what the Scarface is, and I like him a lot. And the other thing, my only other note, which is not really the book's fault, is I'm so over the Tim Burton Penguin. I didn't really like him when the movie came out, like the sort of the monster version of Penguin.
Yeah,
I'm over it. It's been long enough. Like the hair, the nose, the sharpened teeth. Like I'm just over it. I like him better as a person.
That's not what Penguin is right now, or is this book?
In this book, he is.
No, I get that. No, I saw that. Like, is this book just straight continuity? Is this going on alongside?
Yeah, he's Batman's wearing the new costume, and I just don't like this kind of Penguin. But other than that, I thought the art was pretty good.
Yeah, actually,
I like the David Finch kind of style, but I liked it.
Fico Ossio, I first came to know through which was it? Was one of Aubrey Sitterson's books. He was a guy that he found. I can't remember what the book was, and he pretty quickly got snapped up by DC to do stuff. And I think he's got a style. I can see your David Finch part, but it's got a little more stretchiness to it.
He's in that school, but he's definitely I
can see it.
Dynamic, and I like it. It's interesting.
I didn't have a ton of thoughts on this. In that, first of all, I'm just in a haze. The scene that I actually liked the best was Robin is basically there's this guy and his kid was killed, and so he's on a revenge mission, and Robin's basically like, that sound familiar to you? And then Batman just pulls over. He's like, what do you want to say? And he basically tells him all that. And I really like that because it shows Damian growing up to a certain extent and talking to his father, but his father also just listening to him.
Yes,
And
but
so,
can I just add a but? He
uh-huh.
has to pull over and do it because Batman's like, he's a murderer. There's nothing to understand. Like he's like, Robin's like, you're not really
Right.
understanding this guy. He's like, he's just. This felt like the Batman from 10 years ago, who was like,
Sure.
had no emotion, had no like lightness to him. Like even the way he's drawn, he's so angry all the time,
Right.
in every panel, and it just felt like a Batman out of time.
But at least you got that scene, I thought, which was kind of nice.
Yeah.
Where he's like, "You're pretty brave, aren't you?" And I mean, he doesn't admit to it. He says, "We'll talk more about it later." Though, the thing that kept getting me is at the beginning, before we know who Mercer is, he's the Punisher, by the way. He's like he's like the Upper Peninsula, Michigan Hunter Punisher, apparently, is what he is. But they're describing his injuries. They're like concussion, vertigo, burned retinas, lacerated right quadriceps, lacerated right hamstring, lacerated right Achilles tendon. I was like, he's not sitting up at that point.
I don't care how angry he is.
You need your hamstring and Achilles tendon to walk.
Just physically. Like, I don't care how angry you are. You physically need it.
Like, it's impossible to do any of the things that he did. I've seen just one of those injuries happen to an NBA player, and we don't see him for a year. Those guys are in good shape. It's like, tone that down. Once you cut the Achilles, you're out.
You're done. It's funny, when I first saw the cover, I was like, so it's Batman, Robin, and Stick from Daredevil have been kidnapped? I've liked this book conceptually. I'm always happy when Batman and Robin are a team.
Yeah.
For so long, in my young adulthood, when Robin had his own book, they basically segregated the characters. Occasionally, Batman would show up in the book, and occasionally Robin would show up in the book. For the most part, the team of Batman and Robin didn't exist from like the early 90s through whenever they brought that Batman book, Robin book first back in the 2000s. Like it was like 10 years where they weren't really like a team. When I was a kid, in every Silver and Bronze Age comic I read, it was Batman and Robin. They were a team, and they just sort of went separate ways for a long time. So I like that the book exists. I obviously don't like Damian. I'm not thrilled with the characterization of this Batman. I did like the Scarface a lot. There was also a scene where I like the art. The art. There was a scene where the dude is yelling at Batman about how can you know how it feels to lose a kid, and then there's that silent panel of Batman's face. You're supposed to think he's thinking about Jason, but Jason's alive. Like, well, you really lose. I mean, yes, he went through that.
Yeah,
absolutely. But then he came out this other side when Jason came back. Like, it's just like that's what you lose when you bring back Jason. Like, Bucky coming back added a lot to the Marvel Universe and made a lot of sense and was really, I think, a net positive for the Marvel Universe. I still think Jason being back is a net negative. I think you really lose a lot. He doesn't bring much to the table. That doesn't get covered by one of the other mini.
I agree.
Batman sidekicks. Like, it just doesn't. You lose that pathos that Batman was carrying around all the time, and now, even though he can remember how it felt, ultimately he's back. So it mitigates that feeling a little bit.
The more and more that I think about this, and the older I get, I don't think they should have killed the character, because
he was an asshole.
No, I get it. I mean, they should have never brought the character in. They should have just skipped over it and just had Tim, and that would have been been two Robins, and that would have been great.
Well, they had to learn the lesson, because Jason was initially a exact clone of Dick. Pre-Crisis, he was an acrobat whose parents got killed, and it was like it was Dick 2.0. And then after Crisis, they said, "Oh, we got to make him different." So they made him a street tough, and they made him an asshole, and that didn't work. And it took them going through Jason to get to, we need a different character than Dick, but he needs to be a good person.
Who created Tim? Was it Dixon?
Well, he first appears in I think it was a crossover Marv Wolfman wrote part of. Marv Wolfman was the creator.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the crossover. He appears A Lonely Place of Dying it crossed over with the Teen Titans book. I think Marv Wolfman.
Okay, those are some of my first issues ever.
Yeah,
those are Aparo.
Oh, totally. It was multiple artists. It was Pat Broderick, and it was I think even George Perez did some of it. It was.
I think that sounds right.
They're putting a new version of it out. New trade's coming out. But anyway, they had to get through Jason to figure out how to make a new Robin that wasn't Tim but wasn't a jerk. And then we had Tim, and now we're back to having a jerk Robin. So we never learn our lessons.
Jason Todd was created by Jerry Conway and Don Newton in March of '83.
Yeah, his pre-crisis, he was an acrobat whose parents, I believe, were killed by Killer Croc. And then post-crisis, they just started over, and he was a street tough who stole the Batmobile's tires.
Yeah. I think that's not a bad story. Like, I think that's actually kind of cool. I always thought that was a neat idea, but at the end of the day, like, it's too much. We've said this lots of times, like the shit that they put these guys through, and they always have to wheel it back after a while, but it's too much to have somebody on, like, people don't get over that for the most part. And so it's going to permanently affect your character forever. And I always don't love the idea of, like, having it affect them for a year, and so we have to watch them go through it, and then they disappear, and then whenever they needed to come back, then they bring it back again. It's just, I don't know. It's not fun, I guess.
Regardless, here's where we are. Batman and Robin 29.
Yeah.
Patron Pick. Time for ratings. Ratings. Out of 5 stars. 2.75.
What'd you say? 3.75?
2.75.
Oh, like, that makes more sense.
Just a little bit to the right of down the middle, because I like the art. I liked Scarface stuff. But.
I think it was very good for what it was and wanted to be. I think the art was great. I'm gonna go 3. You know, like, it was a good comic book. It's not my kind of comic book, but I don't have any technical problems with it, really, other than that thing about the injuries, which is just funny. I like that.
I remember reading that going, really? Like, he's done.
Yeah,
he's done. So the 3 questions. Would you have read this if it was not for the Patron Pick? No.
No.
What are the 3 questions? Are you sticking with it?
No.
No. What's the 3rd question? Have we forgotten our own
Would
questions?
you have read it? Are you sticking with it?
Did we forget the 3rd question?
We did. We forgot the 3rd question.
Sticking with it, would you have read it, or did you read it? There was a 3rd question. Oh, well. Maybe it's the rating? I don't know.
Maybe that's the rating. Wow. And it's not like we keep this written down anywhere.
No. But you stop doing it for a month, and your brain fills in
what you're going through is what I feel like all the time.
Patreon.com/iFanboy. Thanks for voting, patrons. We do appreciate that.
I think it was a good patron pick.
I do too. I think it was.
It's a great patron pick.
I'm not complaining about it. If you give the patron if you give to the patron, if you're a patron at the $5 or higher level, I don't know what's going on. It suddenly got really hot. It was 30 degrees last week, and now it's 80. I'm wearing a t-shirt and shorts. Anyway, if you give it the $5 or higher level,
sticking with it,
you get a superpower live on the show. You think about it for a second.
Would you have read it?
And sticking with it, would you have read it?
It's not the rating.
I'm gonna maybe it is an old episode. All right. Well, anyway,
let me ask. I'm going to put it on Discord and see if anybody can respond while we're doing this.
Let me give a power to Seth Johnson. Seth Johnson gave the $5 higher level, and Seth Johnson's power is this may not seem as flashy and as cool as some other powers, but Seth Johnson can always get a table. No matter what restaurant, no matter how crowded it is, Seth Johnson is like, Tom Hanks in LA. Like, he can get a table. He can walk in, and if they don't got one, he's Henry Hill. They will bring a table and move some people and plop it down in front of Henry Youngman. He'll get a table, no matter what restaurant it is, no matter how busy they are, no matter what their wait's like. The waiting months for reservation. No. Seth Johnson can walk up at 6 o'clock on a Friday and get a table.
Do they, does it create consternation among the other patrons?
I mean, they're like confused. Just like Karen was confused. What do you do again?
Right.
He's like, I'm in construction.
Because I don't want to do that if I'm going to be resented.
Well, everyone was, there's always resentment. There's one more bewilderment. Who's that guy? I told my wife, let's go somewhere you've never been. Try the kitchen. All right. Did you get an answer yet?
No, I'm typing it in.
Oh, all right. Patreon.com/iFanboy.
I think it's the would you have read it? I think that was because that was what we added.
It was.
So
Are you
it's
sticking with it?
rating.
Would you have read it or did you read it? Was it did you read it or I don't know.
Would you have read it if it wasn't Patron Pick, and are you sticking with it? And then the rating. Those are the three.
Those are the three?
I
I've only been doing
think.
this for 21 years.
Yeah, but we've only been doing this for 5 or so, this part, so or more probably.
Thanks for being a patron, Seth. Patreon.com/iFanboy. You will find a lot of use and utility in that power. Thank you very much. We have one email we're going to do. We have more than one, but we have one we're going to do that we didn't get to do last week that we're going to do it this week. Let's do the email from Kyle R. from the true north of California. Which makes me wonder, is he one of those Jefferson people? Don't leave. Don't leave, Kyle. Kyle says, can it no longer be said that horror is a genre the Jamokes don't like? We see a lot of EC books being read, and a lot of Joe Hill's books were talked about on the show. I've been thinking about this question for 28 hours and 20 minutes. So, traditionally we say we're not really into horror, but Kyle is saying, no, you are into horror.
No, we still don't like horror. Because if I read horror, there's like caveat, like it has to do with like, oh, this person's doing a book and I like this person, so I'm going to give their book a shot. But usually it requires a special dispensation. And so Kyle Starks gets a special dispensation. Joe Hill gets a look. But if you're talking about like looking at the list of books that come out in a week, and half of the books that come out from Dark Horse and half are horror ones, and I don't know who the people are, I don't look at
it. I think, as always,
I scan, but I don't.
I think, as always, it is that execution wins. And so, why does it keep turning on? Oh, stop this! Stop! If I don't know what's happening, if a book is well done, it doesn't matter what the genre is. If a movie's well done,
we have a laughing emoji by Tony B, which is not an answer. Wait. This has never happened live on the show, where we're interacting with people. This is a whole. Oh God, he's typing the 3 dots. Is anybody else here feeling this tension? Do you want to keep working on the question? Because I can't.
All right, so my point is this: if it's good, it doesn't matter what the genre is. If it's well done, like Sinners is a horror film. I love Scream. Like I love the old Universal monster. Like I don't like The Conjuring or all those Blumhouse things. I don't like Saw. Like I don't tend to watch horror, but sometimes a really good horror breaks through the noise. Same with comics. Like if it's really good, like From Hell's a horror comic. I love From Hell. It's really good. But at the end of the day, it's not a genre I'd look at. And I think what the problem is there's so much mediocre comic book horror. And I think the problem is for like a year, we were getting those books as patron picks like 3 weeks out of 4, which really turned us off most of the comic book horror. And I think part of the problem is that I don't really like demon stories mostly.
I don't like demon stories. I don't like werewolf stories. I don't like vampire stories. But there's people.
But good ones. But you like good ones. You like the Marvel.
Right. But the thing that will cause me to look at those tends to be a person. So like you can tell me.
That goes hand in hand with good, like a good creator and a good story. But I also think that this is a classic example of one host says or does something and then it's conflated to the whole show. Like you read the EC books.
Right.
I don't read the EC books.
But that has to do with the fact that
I'm not blaming you. I'm saying, but you do.
No, I know.
So he's saying that you guys no longer.
Right.
I don't read the EC books.
Right. But I do because they're not really horror books. Like they're short and poppy. They're kitschy. They've got a sense of humor about them. And actually I don't like watching that stuff. I like Tales from the Crypt when I was a kid, but I don't like watching that stuff as much as I like reading comic. It's a form of classic comic book, that a genre that we don't really see that much anymore. And I think it's really fun to watch these people stretch and do these things and then these little short story forms. you know, it's not horror. It's not supposed to gross you out. They're funny more than anything else. And that's the thing. That's the other thing is like horror is so expansive.
Right. For me, the only real rule of art is that quality wins. And so, like, if it's a genre I don't particularly love, but it's really well done, then I'll probably enjoy it. But if it's horror's a genre that's full of a lot of stuff I don't enjoy. I don't like I said. There's horror movies that come out all the time that I just don't care about. I'm not into those movies. I'm not into these comics. I'm not into demon comics and stuff.
But I'm also saying that like if you just put two things in front of me and one of them is a horror thing and one of them is an action thing, I will be like, I don't want the horror thing. Like that will be my instinct. Totally. So I need another force to push me towards the one thing because I won't. And there's a lot of horror books that come out, and I will tell you, like I'm like, I'll look and I'll be like, I don't know any of those people, and that doesn't sound like anything new. The other thing I think too that happens in comics is that there's a lot of shitty horror comic books. Like they're like not mediocre. Even shitty like terrible, just incredibly mediocre.
Yeah.
That get by on the concept. And I've tried them here and there, but I've very rarely, so it takes like me going, I really like what Kyle Starks does, so there'll be something interesting in this. And I've left them too. But there's supernatural horror, there's demon horror, and there's serial killer horror, and there's whatever.
Like there was one year where every other week that was the patron pick.
Mm-hmm.
And we were really at the, like, I remember even specifically the patrons like, okay, we got to stop picking these books because we would give the same review every time. This is like fine. Yeah. It's not for me. And,
I can't even tell you if this is good or not, but right. I didn't like it. Okay, just quick touch base here. The patrons who have responded are as of yet no help. Tony B said, these seem correct to me, but I'm even older than you guys, so there's no information there. Yeah. Dan Casino then chips in with Tony. We could have told him anything. Make one up.
Actively undermining the show as it's live being recorded.
Well, you know what? Now I don't have to take all the responsibility for it.
Thanks for writing in, Kyle. Please don't leave California if you are one of the Jefferson people. And thanks for writing in. I did appreciate the chance to talk about that.
Yeah.
Contact@ifanboy.com is how Kyle wrote in to get on the show. If you want to get on the show, please do contact@ifanboy.com. We love the emails. And if you want to write it for the Mediasplode show, put Mediasplode in the subject line. That's how you get on the show. Let's talk about what's coming up this week or this month. Mediasplode on Thursday, January 22nd. We're going to talk about what we enjoyed over the holiday break and the legacy of Rob Reiner's films. And then Thursday, January 29th, we're going to have a Booksplode. But this is a special Booksplode. We're going to do a single issue that we joked about doing. I think it was on an after show. So most people listening are like, what? When did you joke about this? The Avengers Annual number 16 from 1987. We're going to review that issue. It's at least double-sized. So it's almost like a trade.
Sure.
We're going
to sure it's got enough dialogue in it that would be the equivalent of a 5-issue trade.
There's going to be as many panels and pieces of dialogue as would be in a trade paperback today. So Thursday, January 29th, Booksplode. Thursday, January 22nd for the Mediasplode. Those are the shows coming up this month. And I also wanted to plug something that happened late last year. So this came out the week of Thanksgiving, so it kind of got lost in the holiday shuffle, and then the holiday schedule is really chaotic over here, and then we were done. So I didn't get a chance to plug in the show, but Sporadicast, an oral history of movies by minute, is a series that the host is doing a oral history on the movies by minute craze. Started, his first episode I think was with the Star Wars Minute guys. They didn't technically start the format. They popularized it. So for the third episode, he interviewed Ron and I. Ron, of course, is our co-founder of iFanboy, and the three of us, me, Josh, and Ron, did a show called Goodfellas Minute. If you never heard it, we did it 10 years ago. It was 2015, by the way. 10 years ago.
That would be 11 years ago.
Well, we started it. Not yet. So, but yes, when we did this oral history, it was 10 years ago.
Right.
So the three of us did Goodfellas Minute for a year, 10 years ago. And so we were interviewed for that episode. We talked about, well, he asked us a lot about iFanboy as well, but we talked about how iFanboy came to be, and then how Goodfellas Minute came to be, how awful that 1 year was. We were doing Goodfellas Minute because it was so much work to do a daily show plus the iFanboy stuff, which was still going at the time. But it was a good conversation. So if you heard Goodfellas Minute, you want to hear us talk about it, go to Sporadicast. The link, there'll be a link for it at the bottom of the page on the show notes for our this episode. But did want to mention also that we have fixed goodfellowsminute.com. So if you have never heard the show, first you can get it wherever podcasts are sold. But if you want to hear all the episodes are there on goodfellowsminute.com, you can find everything there. And a super fun show that we're really proud of. And I just watched a bit of Goodfellas the other day, which is why I made some Goodfellas references earlier. And it's been a while. So
it was a damn fine show.
I enjoyed it.
Very proud. I'm very, very proud of it. That's
totally
true.
So. But I thought it was a good conversation, and I listened to the one he did with Alex and Pete about Star Wars, and that was a good conversation. Oh, he didn't know it was just with Alex about Star Wars. That was a good conversation. So check out Sporadicast, an oral history of movies by minute. Again, the link will be available at the bottom of the show notes on our website. All right.
I was actually on the Ink Panthers podcast where they started to talk about Star Wars, which led to Star Wars Minute.
You were an Ink Panthers OG.
Yeah, I've done every Star Wars Minute season or whatever it is.
What are they doing now?
I don't know. I don't talk to them unless they're like, "Hey, you want to be in this new one?" That's not true. I talk to Alex sometimes about random shit.
No, but are they still doing shows? What are they currently up to?
I don't know. Don't put me on the spot.
They're gonna have you come on and talk about.
I don't know.
Ashoka.
No, I just do the movies.
Oh,
I'm sure they did that live as it was happening. It's my guess. It was like a Patreon thing.
Well, let's wrap up this episode as Josh needs to have a lay down. You can find our library over 1,500 shows over at iFanboy.com over podcasts are sold. Never miss a show and find out what the pick of the weeks before the show comes out by following us at iFanboy Comics on Instagram and Threads, iFanboy.com on Blue Sky. Individually, we are C.S. Kilpatrick and J.A. Flanagan on Instagram. And don't miss former iFanboy writer Jeff Reed's video deep dives into comic book history every Tuesday and Friday across our social channels and on YouTube. This past week, he went on to the field piece. He went to the Cincinnati Museum for the Mad magazine exhibit.
Cool.
And so he's upping his production game. So check that out on our social channels and YouTube.
Consider writing a review or leaving a star rating on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you find your podcast. Maybe not this episode. Then again, I think I turned out pretty well for the fact that I'm quite encumbered.
We also weren't sure, at least a half an hour before the show, if Josh was even going to make it.
I was sleeping until about that point.
You almost had your first Conor solo episode.
Subscribe to I couldn't do that to all of you. Subscribe to youtube.com/iFanboy where you can watch the video version of this show as well as our special edition shows and Jeffrey's videos that were just previously mentioned and all of our old video shows that were from 2007 to 2012. Finally, join us on the iFanboy After Show exclusively on Patreon, where we talk about the books that we didn't talk about on this show that we read this week. That is patreon.com/iFanboy. That's everybody at $10 or higher. Thank you for listening. We're not going to
banter. We're going to let Josh go to the after show before he gets to go to bed. So we're going to get that.
My back hurts.
Thanks for listening. I'm Conor.
I'm Josh.